Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily Low with your hosts, Matt McGregor and Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate? Happy Friday.
Morning, happy Friday. I got a little bit of a different background for you guys today. I wish cameras, I probably stopped my webcam. There's actually like behind these buildings, there's actually like the ocean. So
I
I'm
can
in a
tell
really
that
cool highway.
because the way that it's like really washed out in the background, that's because the
Yeah,
ocean's reflecting off it. It probably looks really
yeah. So
nice.
maybe
Yeah.
if I do this, there you go.
And
You
this
can
is
see it in
Panama.
between the buildings there. That is Panama, yeah.
I thought Panama was a backwater. Is it actually quite nice, is it?
No, in the city, no. It's like New York City, freaking ocean, right? Like you don't want to set foot in that.
Really? All right. All right, let's get in the charts. It's going to be a quick show. Tone's got his wow, your show. Congratulations on the show you did with Jimmy Song. Man. Wow.
Yeah, like it's like people are sending me like I really thought I was retired from talking about Bitcoin, and this whole thing just blew up. And yeah, I gotta see this through. So there'll be at least three more parts.
Yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Tone did a show on his own channel yesterday, 12 hours ago,
Hmm.
and it's doing really well. Very interesting stuff. Get over there and support the old boy on the old channel. All right, I'm going to get into the charts right now. Look, let's call a spade a spade. This is what I said. The last show, on Monday, we did the show. We dropped down, and I said, look, I think that we'll recover back up to the moving averages of 30 to 200. We did that to the dollar. We got rejected, and then we did another show on like a Tuesday when we came back down to put the low in. And I said, look, the worst thing that could happen on the next show is that we've come back up and we're sitting on the moving averages because then I won't know what to talk about. I'll be really stuck in between. We did exactly that. And then the last show that we did 2 days ago, we were back down on this black line that I drew in on the show and said, this will be the easiest, simplest short you'll ever have. I said, I cannot see a place that we can recover from here. And I don't imagine that this is what I said verbatim, even though it's wrong, that will be on the next show above the 200 simple moving average and feeling really good. Now, I bought into the idea that this S&P 500 can carry Bitcoin across, and I still believe that to be true. We'll talk about that in a second, but the price fell and it fell like a stone. So where does that put us right now? Well, nowhere. We're just falling badly. The wave is red. It's a legitimate red wave. We just go back to the grind of like looking for a great buy the dip situation where we ignore 4-hour green diamonds because the wave is green. We're not interested in them. Daily time frame, we are below the 200 simple moving average on the daily, which we haven't been for, what is that? April. So this is the first time we've been below the 200 simple moving average in a good 6 months. Not good for the further downside. MRI count is just getting started. The moving averages have rolled over. I can see further downside on the daily time frame. I mean, I've been pretty pessimistic all week since we had a bad event, and I'll be the first to admit that I was very, very bullish last week. Why not? We're at all-time highs. What a difference day makes. Weekly time frame. This is the nuts and bolts of what we're looking at. All week I've been saying if we lose this 50 simple moving average, which has sustained us since the 9th of January 2023. Think about that. The 9th of January 2023, we've remained above the 50 simple moving average, and we are on the doorstep of losing it. That is a bear market for me. All right. Yes, there's the caveat that the S&P could rally. We might get faked out. We might get a wick down, and then we're just back above it and continue. That's fine. That's fine. But you've got to open your mind to the possibility that this run is done. And it's been a sensational run. This green diamond happened, just to review for a second. I'm going to turn off the MRI. This is going to be a bit of a fun show. I'll do it quickly. This green diamond happened about 2 weeks before I met 3 weeks or so before I met Tone Vase, which was right here in October of 2022 in the Bali Financial Summit. And in my presentation in the Bali Financial Summit, I said I've gone all in on this weekly green diamond. Don't you remember that, Tone?
I did. I do.
Yeah. And then the day after, well, the day I got home back to Australia from Bali, when I back lived in Australia, we had this FTX collapse. Okay. And I was able to buy more at that point. So my average entry was 17,777. I remember it. I've still got those positions. They're still open because they're just long-term buys. I'm not really trading with that money. But let's just call that the bottom, which it was. And to today, that's 554% to the all-time high, 670%. Guys, a lot of people will think like, oh, the bull market hasn't even started yet, and we're already talking about a crash. Guys, we've had the bull market. This 700%, 670% is a legitimate bull market that we've been in. It's been very, very good. It's just been very difficult because it's been mixed in with these consolidation points that have lasted. Remember, these weekly charts, like weeks, months on end, months on end, months on end, months on end. Even right now, to be honest, from back here, I mean, it has been a very frustrating, non-parabolic bull market. But if we get below the 50 simple, I think it's fair to say that cycle might be done, and the RSI divergence that I was screaming from the top of the hills makes sense. It makes sense that would, like, we'll go back and review that as being like the most obvious RSI divergence we've ever had. The copy curve is rounding down. Hopefully it gets below zero, and hopefully we get below the 50 simple moving average, and hopefully it doesn't last long, that we can get some kind of weekly green diamond like we did back here, in the previous one that I'm talking about, and then load up for the next round of upside. That's what I'm looking at. And I don't want to talk too much about it. That's going to be a show that we talk about. Buckle up. We'll be talking about that a lot. But unfortunately, that's where I think that we sit right now. We can recover and blah, blah, blah. You know that. Tomorrow could be a different week. But that's where I sit right now. I'm not very positive. Please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. We're going to be here with you 4 or 5 nights a week for the rest of existence. We're contracted to do that. So we'll be right here. Join the links in the description and blah, blah, blah. Tone!
Yes.
Am I way off base here, mate? Or are we got a recovery on the cards?
Well, you asking me? I was clearly wrong on on our bouts, right? So
Maybe.
I'm clearly the wrong person to ask. Give me 1 second. I actually want to just set a download to my video yesterday. I just want to, and I actually forgot how to do that.
I'll tap dance for a minute. Get the crowd
yeah,
going.
give me. Oh no, I found the button. Okay, I just want to download yesterday's 3-hour video. I want to put it on Twitter because I want to see if I can stream today's discussion to both Twitter and Bitcoin. I hope it's downloading. It's not showing me anything that it's actually downloaded.
Oh shit! Sorry. There's some really cool. Really
good
chat here.
Good to go.
Yeah. Right.
I'm also not paying attention to our live chat. Anything interesting?
I'll bring it up. I'm reading it now. It's really funny.
Yep. Well, you might want to bring it up, but but then you want to read it to me because I'm not paying attention.
You crack on.
And chat is disabled for this live stream. Why is chat disabled for this live stream?
No, we're here. We're here. I'm loud and clear.
Pop out.
All good.
Huh. I'm getting something strange. Okay. Okay. Anyway, weird. All right. Let me open up my chart. And I gotta. Okay. So here is how I do things when I expect something and the complete opposite happens. This actually is my favorite shirt. And I have multiples. They're different, but like on camera you can't tell that they're actually.
At least you're in the morning wearing shirts. Every single night you've seen me, guys, for the last 2 years, I've been in pajamas ready for bed. This is not my finest clothes that I'm wearing every night, you know.
So when something like this happens, I gotta step completely back, ignore everything I've expected and said before, and look at Bitcoin from a brand new, fresh perspective. So that is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to reflect a little bit on why I got it wrong and how it could have been mitigated. But I am looking at it with fresh eyes. And looking at it with fresh eyes, we have a very nasty monthly candle, but it so happens that this candle is coming into support of that big Fibonacci line that stopped us in our tracks in January of this year. So we do have support at 102 on the monthly scale, but I don't like the price flip to a red one on a monthly, breaking our monthly count. Now, this is very easy to then for us to recover and go back up because all we got to do is close the month above 107 and we're back to a green 7. But this is still a massive consolidation. What I wanted to see was a blow off top into 140 into year end. And the last 48 hours have made that very, very unlikely. It doesn't mean it can't happen. The weekly chart is now on a red star candle, which for me changes everything. Yes, we had a red star candle before that did not amount to much, but now we have a second red star candle in the same vicinity. And while we do have a moving average on a weekly chart, and we also have this very critical support, we are also on support on a weekly scale, but today being Friday, it's looking like this red candle is very likely, red star candle is very likely to remain. Now, will we recover off of this red star candle? I'm not assuming this. I'm actually now on Matt's point of view. This support is kind of weak because we are hitting it for the second time in 2 consecutive weeks. So this is now very, very concerning to where I'm not shorting it here now because the move has already happened. But I am leaning towards more downside at this point. This is me looking at Bitcoin. Like, let's say I haven't looked at the chart in a month. This is how I am analyzing the current charts. And by the way, I was very, very bullish up here. There was no reason not to be for me.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, wait, there was a reason not to be. For me, there was a MRI top right here on the daily scale. So there was a reason to be cautious, and I would have said, hey, be cautious. Look at these last 2 daily MRI tops. MRI called it perfectly. So now, what about the daily chart? Look at it with, again, fresh eyes. That is a daily red star candle breaking the 200-day moving average below all moving averages. It doesn't get any more bearish than this. The only thing I can say on this is we had these 2 candles here. These 2 here you see with a green 1 and a green 2. These candles were literally, if the candle on October 14 closes like $20 lower, it's a red 6. And if the candle on October 15th closes $3 lower, it's a red 7. So now I'm like the spirit of the MRI because now it's 2 candles that were off by an unreasonably small amount. Man, YouTube like changed some shit. Like, how do I can't like push this forward. Crazy. Wait, are we still live?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Very sure.
So why?
We still live, guys? Can you hear us?
I don't know. It's so something strange is going on my end. Some kind of record button.
Yeah, we're
Anyway.
live. Yeah, we're still good. Yep. Life is live. Still live. Yep. Thanks, guys.
Oh, maybe this is the last show we did. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, guys. This is super weird. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna give this till Monday. So, like this again, on Friday is not the time to enter your trades. Everything is pointing to more downside. This should have been the MRI buy candle on the daily. I mean, all this candle had to do was close $30 lower, and all this candle had to do was close like $5 lower. They're just too close of a margin. And even though this MRI buy is in a pretty bad spot, considering it's below the 200-day moving average, we've also fallen quite a bit. And maybe this Bitcoin core versus Bitcoin knots, debate is causing the price to go down. I still think we have a correlation with the S&P 500, which I need to go and take a look at now. On a short-term level, here's the good news. I guess it's good news. We have made a new swing low and a new low close. And there should be some divergence here across the board. And we have divergence in the RSI, and we have divergence in the MACD using the 4-hour chart. Using the 1-hour chart, we also have divergence, but the price still needs to reverse. Okay, obviously we want lower than these lines, even though for like 6 hours, I was looking really, really good. And I also said this blue line is where my stop loss would be. And that was absolutely perfect, right? Once this happened right here, you knew it was going to go down. So even though I expected us to rally, I also know exactly where the stop loss is for the breakdown. And maybe if I was live trading, this is where I shorted. But of course, this happens actually, this happened at 11 o'clock yesterday, right in the middle of my stream with the 3-hour stream with Adam Back and Jimmy Sogg. So there was nothing I can do about that trade.
I'll just jump in here. Mel just made an interesting point. I don't think the average person gives a rat's ass about core versus knots. Now, I agree. That's a fair statement. But it's sort of like there's so many things happening like in every situation, like whether it's governments, who's running the country. I don't give a shit who's running the country. I don't care about the president, but it can make tremendous effect on your life. It actually does have relevance. We all live in the world of Bitcoin. Who's pulling the strings at the top end, even if you don't care, can actually impact on your life. I think that's what we're seeing right now,
Yeah. And from a cycle perspective, we are ending the zone or where all prior bull markets have ended.
Well, we're doing that. We are ending the cycle with
we're ending the zone, but I am still on train bull market. And I think we're still going to make new highs in this bull market. And I still believe in the 4-year cycle. So neither of those things have been proven incorrect to me yet. Bitcoin dominance is rising, as at least there is one prediction I got right. And that is the Bitcoin dominance prediction. And we're making a new weekly closing high, swing high. So that's good.
Yeah, my relegation into altcoins has not done well. I liquidated the account, actually. I went 5x leverage long on Pudgy Penguin and then liquidated it.
You got liquidated or you liquidated it?
No, it got liquidated. I mean,
it got liquidated. Okay.
Yeah. It was a very small amount of money, but it didn't work.
Gold weekly continues to be near the top. Well, at least I was smart enough not to sell any of my gold coins. And silver is still near the top. And man, if this is still happening like around Thanksgiving, maybe it's time to convert some silver into gold. We have no need to talk about that. Oil is making new lows. That's interesting.
Good.
Life will be a little bit cheaper. And the S&P 500, we are on a 10-minute chart. S&P is not open, so that's not very useful. And the S&P is not having did not have a good day yesterday. That was actually, let me go back to that 5-minute chart. I want to see where my blue lines were. So Is this the 10 a.m.? No, that's noon. Where did I draw that thing on S&P? Don't remember what this was. Today's the 17th, right?
Mm.
Yeah, we had a late show that day, right? So I said, hey, this looks like it could be the bottom right here. There was a reversal, but again, this is where everything kind of fell apart. Let me go to the daily chart of the S&P.
Can you go to the daily chart of S&P and just turn on alphanumerics for me for a second, mate, and sort of zoom
It's on.
out?
It's on.
Yeah, see, this is what I fear about the S&P 500. You'll notice there at where the bottom of the 50 simple moving average is, or that purple line you've got, is basically where that wave will turn red. This looks like Bitcoin on a weekly for me, that rolling over of the major critical moving averages. If we get below that purple line there, that's where that wave will turn red again. And I think that that's in trouble too.
Yeah, so this is where I go to the historical like significance of the S&P. Um, a lot of people think the S&P crashes in October, but then a lot of people call it October, and both things are true. And because no one says it the way I say it, October is where the low is made, right? So the stock market can both crash in October and rise in October at the same time. And this is like the perfect example where the market crashed in October, or it's been crashing since August, and sometime in October it made the low. It could have made the low on October 30th, or it could have made the low on October 1st. Same thing when they say, sell in May and go away, but the May high could be May 1st or May 31st. You just don't know. So I still think the low is in for the S&P in October. I still think Trump is going to walk back the China stupidity, and I still think markets are going to rise and make new highs into year end. And if the stock market makes new highs into year end, just like what happened last time, Bitcoin was slow to catch up, but it did catch up. And just like when the stock market made a new all-time high in October, so did Bitcoin make a new all-time high in October. So this is why I'm still not giving up on Bitcoin, even though the chart looks disastrous. Yield curve not doing much, but they're gonna lower rates again. And the closer we get to the day of the rate lowering, which is October 29th, so it's gonna happen later this month. So you see, there's 100% chance that the rate is gonna get lowered. Right, the current rate is 400 to 425 basis points, and there is a 99% chance that it's going to be lowered to 375, 400, and a 1% chance that it's going to get lowered more than that. So you have a 100% chance that the rate's going to get lowered. Now, of course, Jerome Powell could really stick it to Trump by not lowering the rate, and then the S&P has a massive crash. But I don't think he's going to do that, right? I think his health is a little too important to him to do that. I don't think that's going to happen. And that's it. That's pretty much it.
Well, we'll just do this last question. So how high does the price of Bitcoin need to go before we stop seeing this extreme volatility? Be careful what you wish for. Extreme volatility is how we can make some money. If there's no volatility, if it's just gold, and gold has had some volatility, it's gone straight up recently, but look at an overall, gold can stay stagnant for 2-3 years and barely move within a range. We want the volatility, guys. This is a blessing in disguise. It's just really well disguised. The price of Bitcoin can plummet down to $70,000 or 60, whatever X amount, and you can get into a position that can change your life. You load up $100,000 worth of Bitcoin at fucking $60,000, stay in it for 4 years, and change everything. You need that volatility. I'll be out of Bitcoin by the time there's no volatility in the market. That's just my opinion.
Oh, Blaze. Let me. Oh, I can put up a comment.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to fact check this, so I'm going to assume it to be true. So backwardation in Bitcoin futures showing up again. It called the bottom end of September. That would be good.
Yeah.
So backwardation is when basically the price of the future is the price of the future comes in, I think, higher than the price of the spot. I always get them backwards. I always have to look it up because
Yeah.
I
I think
only talk about it like once every 2 years, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta look this up again.
I think it's the opposite of that. But yes, yeah.
And it might be the opposite of that. It's a so it tends to call bottoms
It's a
and tops.
discrepancy between the futures price and the spot market price, like contango and backwardation.
Right. And that could be something. I mean, the gap could always grow a little bit bigger, but that could be something there. Let me hide the comment. And yeah, let's see. I think Monday is going to be useful as far as volatility. I mean, how do you define volatility? The higher Bitcoin goes, the larger your nominal moves will be, but the smaller your percentage moves would be, right?
Right.
Like, what's more important to you? Bitcoin
Percentage.
falling by percent or Bitcoin falling by? I mean, it's always going to fall less by percent, but is it enough, right? Like, for example. A $10,000 crash in the price of Bitcoin today is like a $1,000 crash in the price of Bitcoin when it was 10,000.
Yeah.
Percentages are the same, but yeah. So it's if it falls just a tiny bit less by percent, is it less volatile? I'm not sure, right? So there is a happy medium there somewhere, but. Look, as long as Bitcoin stays above 100,000 going forward, I think the industry is okay.
What if it
Uh,
doesn't? Because I don't know if it will. But what if it? What do you say if it doesn't say above 100,000?
I
I
mean,
don't
if,
think it will.
uh, I think
I
Bitcoin
don't
could
think it
get
will.
it. I think the ecosystem could get in trouble if we fall back into like the 60s and stay there for a while
Mm.
because it has been a lot of time. Like that would be unfortunate. Like I would like to see.
I think we break 100,000 to the downside, and I this is once again this is just speculation, but every time we've made major drops in the past, whether we just drop below 20 or drop below whatever milestone, you'll see it happens fast. But you make all your money in Bitcoin really, really fast. It'll happen in a week. It'll drop $30,000, and then it'll spend 6 months recovering. And the recovery will look vertical when you go back in time and look at it. It'll look like it's been gone parabolic off a massive drop. So what those green, just get alphanumerics and look out for green diamonds. Seriously, that's the review it yourself. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Uh, Someone is asking, Tone, are you saying the only hope is in Trump? No. I mean, the markets were rising under Biden. We are in a bull market. We've been in a bull market for 20 years. We've been in a bull market since the lows of 2009. Maybe not 20 years yet, but we're going to remain in this bull market, right? So we are in a bull market. It doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden or maybe the top is coming at the end of Trump's term. Maybe there will be one more president, but just go back, look at the monthly scale. We are in a bull market. I think the bull market ends with an exponential blow off top, the way you currently see the gold chart or the silver chart, because it's more exponential than the. This is how bull market ends, right? So here is a monthly chart of silver. You can see the exponential move. It happened in 1980, it happened in 2011, and it's happening right now. How high will this exponential move get? No one knows. I think it's ending now. I think it's going to end on the MRI top next month. How high can the price of silver get next month? Shit, it can go to $3,000 an ounce, right? I don't know where it will end price wise, but I am betting on the exponential move in silver ending around this year. Same thing with gold. Gold is slightly misaligned here on a monthly scale. Gold has a few more months to go, but that's still this year, right? November, December. So as and And the higher these assets go on the exponential rise, like here's gold's exponential. Notice how different this chart looks than silver, right? Silver is always stopping at 50. Gold adds an extra 0 each time, right? Pretty much. It's like scales. This is an unsustainable exponential rise. Okay. Now, do you see the S&P 500 doing the same thing? I don't.
It's
Okay.
organized.
Peter Schiff sees it. Robert Kiyosaki sees it. Doug Casey, if he's still alive, sees it, right? Every single gloom and doomer that is telling you that the stock market is overvalued and is going to crash, and they've been saying it every day for the last 15 years, and in some cases, every day for the last 45 years. They see an exponential rise. I do not. Show me an exponential rise in Bitcoin, and that will be the top of the price. Now, this was a little more exponential, and this move into the 08 was exponential in some sectors, okay? But I don't see it yet, okay? This is why you see the exponential, you see this move, massive exponential-ish move in 1987, and now you got to go all the way back to the Great Depression, right? You got to go all the way back to the 1929, and that is an exponential move. So this is what I want to see. I want to see an exponential rise in the S&P. I want us to break out above this channel very quickly. Okay, a year where the S&P makes 25% in 1 year, bam, that's probably ending the bull market. Okay, I think that's coming at the end of the decade, but we will see. So I'm not sure how I got on that topic, but it was more like I'm still bullish on the stock market. And as long as I'm bullish on the stock market, I remain bullish on the Bitcoin price. What's going to happen after the S&P hits its exponential rise and then collapses? Will that collapse Bitcoin? I'm not sure. Maybe it would be the greatest catalyst ever to pump Bitcoin. We will know. We will know when that happens.
All right, we got to go, man. We got to go. We've got to go buy old Japanese sports cars. Yeah, you're reading my mind, brother. You're reading my. Somebody made a comment before. They're like, Matt, if you think Bitcoin's going under 100, why don't you short? I'm like, I am short from 110, 800. That's why I said it on this show. I telegraphed what I'm going to do. It's the easiest short you'll ever do. I said it on this show. Watch this show. All right, come on, get off screen share. Let's go. I got to go, man. This is a half an hour show. You kidding me?
I know. We're done. Bye, guys.
Wait. Come back off screen share because I just want to talk to Robert Atkins. He made a really great comment before. It's not Bitcoin related, so don't worry. He said, Matt, do you think you punched yourself out in the fight? And then somebody else commented, I think he was injured. I was injured. I had like a torn MCL in my knee and couldn't run for like in preparation, and I had no gas. I knew that I was never going to be able to go 4 rounds against a guy who's 25 years old, who's fit as anything. So I had to win the round. I had to win the fight in the first round, and I didn't. He was good enough to hold me off, and I was completely gassed after that. So yes, you're all right, and that's why I'm retired, because I'm too old to bloody be chasing chickens around the yard. Just retire. Thanks, guys. What a wonderful show we've had. What a wonderful week we've had. The price of Bitcoin hasn't been there, but we've been there with you. Look, Monday is going to be really interesting, and I can't wait to see what happens on Monday. We'll be with you then. Tone, have a lovely weekend.
Yep.
And for everybody,
have a good weekend, guys. And for a one-word answer, the movements in the price of gold are irrelevant in terms of the stock market. Gold is like a fart in the wind to the stock market because 90% of all gold, it doesn't move, right? It's not like people are going to run with their gold bars, sell them, and put it in the stock market. No, they're completely independent. They do not influence each other, but sometimes they're correlated and sometimes they're movement, but it's a very, very small influence of one to the other. All right.
On that bombshell, have a wonderful weekend. Thanks, guys.